Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to use a different chart. This time it's going to be a line chart. So in the last tutorial we built a word frequency app using the bar chart, and today we're building a commit history visualizer using the line chart in JavaFX. Commit visualizer. I'm going to use the same dataviz package since it kind of fits. Let's get rid of usual stuff first. So a trick that I learned just recently is to type the name of the method that you want to use. If it doesn't exist, Alt-Enter, and it creates the method for you, which is really nice. I'm still on Java 8 for this entire project, so I can't use var, unfortunately. I have to stick to this. Keep forgetting that. Stack pane is probably fine. That's what we're going to use for our root node. I really like this up here for some reason. I think it's because of the JavaFX ensemble project that I looked at a long time ago. I just kept create content up here, which is why I keep it there anyway. So the first thing that we're going to use is the line chart, which is going to map our string to the number. String is going to be the date when commit occurred, and the number is the number of commits for that date. What does it want? Oh yeah, it needs the category and number axes. There we go. Now what we need is series. I'm planning to use two different series, which is why I want to create a function for extraction. So private, what do I want? I want series. There is string to number, so it has to match the chart definition. Extract, I guess, and then we're going to pass the file from which to extract. We're going to, right, so first of all we need to obtain some data. For that I'm planning to use one of my repositories, which is a long-term project. I think I've been developing it for about 5 years, which means there's some good commit history that I can visualize. So if you've used Git before, then you probably know of the git log command, which gives you a detailed log commit history. And there's a lot of stuff in there that I don't really want to use. But what I am interested in is the date on which the commit occurred, which means I can map the date to the month. Since it's been in development for 5 years, that's around 60 months. So there's some good data in there, which means I'm not going to use each day. I want to map the day to its month. After some Googling around, I found that you can actually do some formatting, and you can obtain just the date if you do this. And that gives you the date on which the commit occurred. But I don't want all of this data. All I need is just the year and the month. Now I could also go further and format the date itself, which gives me some interesting options like the year and the month. And this is exactly what I need. Now the problem here is that if I'm going to use something like LocalDate in Java, its parse, as far as I know, requires the year, the month, and then the day. There might be other ways to parse it, but this seems to be the quickest option. So instead of just truncating it to just the month and the year, it's going to add a superficial 01 saying it occurred on the first day of the month. And that's exactly what I need, because all these copies are essentially going to be merged into a single string, and the count, the number of occurrences of that string, gives me the number of commits in that month. All I need to do now is just dump all of this into a file. Let's call it log.txt. I can now move my log.txt to where this project is, which is right here, FX tutorials. And it should now be available somewhere here. Not too worried about where it is, but it's there somewhere. Right, so I've got the chart. This is the file that I'm going to pass in. So extract paths.get log.txt. This gives me back the series, which I can then use to add to the chart. Chart get data add. There we go. I can repeat that for a different project, log2, which for which I'm going to use my thesis, because it's another long running project, and there should be some interesting commit history. Should be right here somewhere. So I can just run the same command to give me, I'm just going to rename this to log2.txt, and then I'm going to copy or rather move the file to where the tutorials directory is. If you don't have any long-term projects on Git, then you can just clone one of the existing projects that you can find online. Alternatively, this is not just commit history visualizer. The code in here should be generalizable enough to visualize anything that maps a string to a number. This could be a number of people that live in a particular city over time. So if you have that data, which I'm pretty sure is available somewhere, then you can visualize the population growth in a city, in a country, and kind of so on. You get the idea. Now, what do I want to do with this? I need to read all the lines from that file, and then stream map. What do I map it to? So this is a line, and each line is a date. So LocalDate parse. That should give me back a date, which I can then use to collect collectors grouping by function identity, because I don't want to change the date in any way. But I do want to count the number of occurrences of that date, which is what was it? Collectors counting. Probably wants me to handle an exception. Just do this. That returns, so does that return? It returns a local date mapping to long data. If there's an exception, just return an empty series. There shouldn't be an exception. Should be fine. Right, so what do I do with that data now? I need to return series. Let's construct a series first. It's going to be series string number series. I want to name the series something. So I might as well pass string name. The first one was fxgl. Nope, not here. fxgl basis. And I can then set the name right here. Right, I need to convert this data, also sorted, because remember, this is going to probably end up as unsorted data. How about we use tree map? Pretty sure LocalDate is comparable. Yeah, it is, which means it will sort it correctly. Yeah, in case you're not familiar with tree map, it's basically just a map that has keys in the sorted order. So we've got our data sorted. I can then iterate through that data, which gives me date and number of commits for that date. I just want to populate my series. String. Okay, so I need to convert the date back to a string. Date type formatter, what options do we have? Let's go with this basic. Let's go with basic. Yeah, basic ISO date. And what else? I need to pass in the number of commits, which is, nope, not here, that one. That's a rather long line. All right, so we've got that. I think that's it. Shall we try and run it? There's an error there. I haven't returned anything. Yeah, let's go with this. I don't see anything because probably I haven't added the whole thing to the scene graph. Yep. Get children, add chart. Okay, cool. So, any interesting patterns we can see? So the red one is FXGL, which started a bit early. That was 2015, 01, 03. Well, the first day doesn't matter because I just included 01 superficially there. So the month was March, and I can kind of see that when I wasn't working on my thesis, I was working on FXGL, well, to some extent. Obviously, it doesn't give you the kind of full picture, and depending on what you're visualizing, you might end up not including everything, such as some simple short-term projects that you were working on in a particular time period or something else. But in any case, this is a line chart that we created reasonably easily. We then used some git log format to obtain some data that we wanted to use. You can use your own data. You can use your own data, meaning sort of just mock data, which isn't as fun as real world data, but it just gives you an idea of how to use line charts in JavaFX. And LocalDate is something that's been introduced in Java 8, is it? Yeah. And it's a really nice API for dates. And if you're using date and time, then there's a LocalDate time API. And on that note, I would like to complete the tutorial. And for the next one, I'm planning to use Javelin and a bit of MVC to write a client-server calculator. So let me know if you're interested in watching that. And thanks for watching.